Turn Undead is supposed to be the cleric's backup right now. Button, power, whatever you want to call it. It's not damage. It's not flavor. It's literally control. When it lands, the whole table should feel it. Like the party just got a gulp of air in a bad room. If turning at your table is currently a fuzzy roll followed by a shrug, I'm going to tighten up with one index card procedure. So it becomes a real table moment instead of a speed bump. Now, most tables blow this in one or two ways. I've certainly got to say I've been guilty of at least one of these, if not both, at some point. One, turning becomes a magic eraser. They run away, and they may as well have despawned or been teleported because they're never seen again. Or two, turning becomes a sad coin flip. You roll it, it fails, and the cleric learns, cool, my class thing, this doesn't matter. Now, BX actually gives you a clean core for turning. The problem is we don't run it like a procedure. So here's the mindset shift. Yeah, that makes even more sense. Turning isn't we win, it's we get space. It's control. The fight changes shape, and a cleric is the reason it changes it. So here's the card, write it big, keep it next to your dice, pin it to your DM screen, put it down there with your character sheet. The turn Undead, the actual table procedure. Step 1, declare the attempt, right? When a cleric encounters undead monsters, the cleric may attempt to scare the monster instead of fighting it. So you're not swinging stones. You're trying to drive them back. Step 2, pull out the table. Cleric versus undead. When a cleric attempts to turn one or more of the undead, consult the cleric versus undead table, page B8 in the basic book. Cross-index the cleric's level with the type of undead encountered. Now, it's going to be on that chart, you're going to see three things. No effect means that you can't turn that type of undead yet. You're not powerful enough. There's a number. That number must be reached on 2d6. If you hit that number or higher, it works for you. If you roll lower, it doesn't. And if it says T, well, success is automatic. What does it caveat? Step 3. If it works, roll how much you turn. If a cleric is successful at turning some undead monsters, the player must roll 2d6 to find out how many hit dice the undead monsters are turned. Hit dice, not number of undead. That's important to remember. So I can guarantee you many tables, including mine, have screwed that one up. So remember, you're rolling hit dice, not how many bodies, and a successful attempt at turning undead will always affect at least one undead creature, no matter how few hit dice are affected. So if the roll is successful, something turns. You know that. Step 4, convert hit dice into actual monsters. That's when you count the hit dice until you run out. Anything extra is wasted. And BX shows you a clean example. Ghouls add 2 hit dice each. If you turn 8 hit dice, you roll 9 hit dice worth, you turn 4 ghouls, you got 1 left over, it's lost. Now, my table guidance, this is interpretation, this is not me quoting rules text, is I apply the turned hit dice to the closest, most immediate threats first. It keeps the table view pretty clear, pretty fast. But you do you as a DM. Step 5. What do turned undead actually do? And this is where people want to, put their money down on, because this is important. If a cleric turns an undead monster, the monster will not touch the cleric and will flee the area if it can. So don't get fancy. They won't touch the cleric. Okay. And they try to get away. My guidance, that way I would run this. Flee from the area means out of the room, down the hall, behind a door, around a corner. Anything that opens distance and breaks pressure. And if they can't flee, I don't turn them into cornered but fearless fighters. I keep their behavior consistent. They recoil, they scramble back, press into corners, hide behind obstacles, anything that says we want away from the holy symbol. Duration. I could not find duration indicated in the BX rule set. And I saw some indications online that, it's D10, it's whatever. We're already rolling 2d6 for the turn attempt and 2d6 for the hit dice. So this is how my judgment as to how to run this. Duration is as long as the cleric is putting their holy symbol up, right? Whatever. And concentrating. And after the concentrating ends, after they're no longer actively doing so, 2d6 rounds. So again, while the cleric keeps focus, symbol up, attention on the undead, the perch stays on. When the focus breaks, DM rolls 2d6 rounds. DM rolls. And that's the aftershock where they keep fleeing, cowering. Then they can regroup. And I will tell the players, all right, listen, I just rolled 2d6. They don't know. Your players don't know how long that will last. But you tell them, you've got at least 2 rounds. What do you do? Still know how much time the minimum is. Maybe they got lucky. Maybe they got the maximum. But they don't need to know. And that's how you make turning feel real. Now, I like to do actual table examples, but the example in the basic rulebook is pretty good. Father Miles, a 3rd level cleric, meets 5 ghouls, 2 hit dice each in a tomb. So, all right, he checks the table, 3rd level versus ghouls, 7 or higher on 2d6. He rolls an 8. He's successful. Then he rolls how much, as in how many hit die. Rolls a 9. That's 4 ghouls, a total of 8 hit dice worth. That's turned away. The extra hit die, no effect. So at the table, I go, 4 ghouls recoil. They won't go anywhere near the cleric. They're backing off and trying to get away. 1 ghoul is still in your face. So now the party has a clean picture and a clean choice. And the cleric just changed the momentum of the encounter. So the example keeps going. After the remaining ghoul is slain, 6 skeletons attack from another direction. Father Miles automatically turns them. Doesn't have to roll, because the chart says T. But he rolls a 5 on 2d6 for hit dice, and therefore 5 of the skeletons, so 1 hit dice each, are pushed off. 1 still attacks. That's how fast this can move when you run it cleanly. And, this is a line that turned it into teamwork. The cleric's holding them off. Quick answers. What are you doing with the breathing room? Now, with everything, there's a few things that can trip people up. Treating turned like mind control. It's not mind control. Turned undead aren't pets. They're scared off. Run them like frightened undead trying to get away from the cleric. Problem 2, right? Or issue 2, forgetting the hit dice roll. Don't eyeball it. It's 2d6 hit dice, not 2d6 undead. And of course, there's the acting like the encounter is over, and I've been guilty of that in the past. They won't touch the cleric doesn't mean the dungeon stops being dangerous. It means the cleric forced a change. The party still has to cash that in. What about cornered undead? Okay, well, they can't flee. Don't break the field. Keep the behavior. They recoil, they avoid, they scramble for space. When you run it the same way every time, players trust it, and they will plan around it. And don't turn it into a mini game, right? Keep it snappy. Refer to the table, roll the first 2d6, roll the next 2d6, and if the cleric stops concentrating, roll the last 2d6. The moment it starts taking minutes of gameplay at the table to figure this stuff out, you'll lose momentum. Okay, BX and most OSR games, they thrive on momentum. So remember that. So here's the whole thing. All right, turning undead is the cleric telling the dungeon, not right now. Okay. Remember, look at the chart, roll your 2d6 if needed. Sometimes it's automatic. Sometimes you can't have an effect at all. Roll 2d6 again. I'm going to repeat this because somebody's going to forget it. I've forgotten it. It's not creatures. 2d6 for the hit dice turned. Then count the bodies as you count the hit dice. Run their behavior honestly. They won't touch the cleric, and they flee if they can. The clean timer of concentration plus 2d6 rounds, not turns, rounds. So everybody still has that pressure to act because it could last longer, but they don't know. Again, if this has helped, please consider subscribing and drop a comment. When your party meets undead, what goes wrong more often? Do people forget turning actually exists? Or do people argue as to what the effects of turning is? Or something else? Let me know. Thank you, and God bless.